everybody, I'm Allie, and this is my Y&R chat vlog for Sunday, November 8th, and I've been gone for like 2 weeks, and I didn't even do a full vlog the week before that, so I've got three weeks of storylines to comment on. Sorry about the delay, but I'm back. I went on a little adventure, and I have tons of photos and blogs and other stuff to document it if you want to go to my website and check that out, see where I was that whole time. My website is buttonhead.org, but I'm happy to be catching up on Y&R once again, and I have to tell you guys, I'm actually happy with where Y&R is. Finally. And of course it would have been a completely different story if this would have been Eric Braeden's last week on the show. I would have been singing a completely different tune, but we got lucky this time, and he's staying. It was interesting though to watch those final scenes with Victor, because Eric Braeden didn't know that he was coming back to the show. He thought those very well could have been his final scenes, and he did not miss a beat. You know, it's like you always want to look for actors when they're getting ready to leave the show to see if they're still bringing it to the role even if they know they're leaving. But Eric Braeden, A+ performance. He was awesome. Of course, I mean, you know me, I was crying the whole time into my pillow. There was the flashbacks of his life, the times that he spent with Ashley and Nikki and Hope on the back of a horse at the farm, which was when I started watching the show. Those flashbacks were so much fun to watch. Douglas and his duel, that was fun. I miss Douglas, man. That was an interesting flashback to have. And of course Victor was tying up his loose ends all around Genoa City, especially those loose ends with Jack. The final scene with Jack and Victor at the ranch was awesome. Jack basically completely confessed that he was the one that forged Victor's diary. It was a really good scene between the two of them. I was waiting for like one of them to shoot the other one or something. It was, and of course the flashbacks to all of the rivalries that they've had throughout the years. When Victor had a heart attack, Jack did nothing. I think that was even like possibly the primetime episode that they did where, no, it was where Victor got shot. No, it was Victor's heart attack. I don't remember. But they were great scenes between the two. They have a timeless rivalry. And of course, there was a wonderful moment between Nikki and Victor in the hayloft or in the barn. They're back together. Nikki and Victor totally back together. It was kind of quick. I wasn't expecting it just to be like, bam, I'm divorced from Ashley and now I'm with Nikki. But you know what? I'll take it. I mean, thinking that Eric Braeden would be leaving the show, I would expect them to get Nikki and Victor back together. But you know, I think that overall we're getting it back into a good spot. Nikki gave Victor the present of Sapato #2. Yay! I'm so happy. Like, it's like, thank goodness. I feel like everything is back on track. We went down this deep, dark rabbit hole for the last several months. And I gotta tell you, like, when they killed the dog, like, that was it for me. When Sapato died, it was my switch. I was like, I am done with this stuff. And bringing the new dog onto the show, I feel like the message was heard and received, and everything is finally getting back on track. So thank you, Y&R. So it looks like JT and Victoria are going to be off of the show for a while. A YouTube user named Grenadian Candy, hi, she left a comment on my main page of this YouTube channel where you can leave a comment too if you'd like to. And she had mentioned that she thought that Victoria might be pregnant, and I had no idea. I'm of course oblivious to this. I don't know anything that's ever going on behind the scenes. But after she mentioned that, I started noticing that it looked like they were hiding Victoria's stomach in some of the scenes. So I'm guessing that both Amelia, I think is how you pronounce her name, and Thad Luckenbill are going to be out on maternity/paternity leave. That's my guess. I couldn't find any articles, of course, to support this, but it kind of makes sense. So I don't know. Does anyone know for sure? Is that the official story? They're both out on maternity leave? Yeah, I really need to spring for a subscription to CBS Soaps in Death so I know what the heck I'm talking about. I don't know. If anybody wants to send me some of their old copies, I'll totally give you my post office address, and I'll start addressing some of these issues on screen. So let's talk about Sharon and Adam. I, of course, did not see this coming at all, the relationship between those two, but now that it's here, it makes perfect sense. The feud between Adam and Nick is heating up, and earlier in the week, Nick made a remark to Adam. He said, "You will never have what I have." And it was interesting because Nick was making that comment in reference to his seat at the helm of Newman Enterprises, his newly appointed seat. But what Nick really wants, and what he can't have, of course, is something that Adam might actually be able to steal, which is Sharon. So, I don't know, now as soon as Nick starts catching on that Sharon and Adam might actually be in a relationship, he immediately goes to Adam and bans him from seeing her, and then, of course, he goes to Sharon and tells her the same thing. Now, frankly, I think that Nick was the one that planted this seed in Sharon's mind all along about the romantic relationship with Adam. And I'm not saying that Sharon is getting involved with Adam to make Nick jealous, but what I'm saying is that everyone knows if you tell a woman not to do something, what's she gonna do? She's gonna go out and do that exact same thing. So I think it was Nick that actually planted the seed about a romantic relationship with Adam, and now Sharon's kind of like, I wonder. So I don't know. What do you guys all think about Adam and Sharon? I can almost imagine the flaming fingers typing right now, and I'm sure in all of the forums and all of the chat places, everyone's totally up in arms about it, because, you know, after all of the disgusting deeds that Adam has done in this past year, I mean, he stole Sharon's baby, for crying out loud. Why would anybody want them to be together? I can't imagine that there's anyone that's on the edge of their seat waiting for these two to have their first kiss. But I personally like the dynamic of a rivalry between Nick and Adam. I think it could be interesting, and I think it's a good move to put Sharon in the middle of that. Plus, it's really what the whole Nick, Phyllis, Sharon triangle has needed for ages. I mean, if you throw a rivalry with Nick and his brother in there, it does actually make for an interesting storyline. So, my recommendation would be that I think the writers need to do some damage control, since they basically ruined the character of Adam. I mean, they took him so deep and dark, it's impossible for anybody to like him now. I don't like him. I'm sure that you don't like him. So I think that the writers need to make him a little bit more likable of a character somehow. I don't know. And then, frankly, I think that the powers that be need to recast the role. I'm not into that actor. A lot of people have said that they're not that into him. No offense, but I think we just need someone a little more sexy. I want Chris Angan back. He was perfect, perfect, perfect. So somebody like that, if not Chris Angan. But you know, Adam and Sharon as it is right now, don't get me wrong, I don't like it. But recast the role, change the character a little bit, and I'm in. Oh man, there are way too many things to talk about to fit into one video. So this is going to be a two-parter since YouTube only allows a 10-minute time limit. But I'm going to come back and do a part 2 to follow up and talk about all the other storylines in Genoa City. So stay with me and check for the new video to be uploaded shortly.